So in today's video, I'm going to do something a little bit unique to the channel. I'm going to do kind of a guide, I would say. I wouldn't say it's a guide, but it's kind of how I would recommend if somebody was new and was a solo player, how to approach rank. So like, share, subscribe. As you see, we're at 85 subscribers. Thank you guys for the love and support. As usual, let's see if we get to 90 before the end of the year. Let's see if we can hit that big 9-0. But yeah, this video is going to be tailored more so for either people who are afraid to go into rank for whatever reason, or people that are new to the game and they kind of want to go into the ranked system and they don't know what to expect. So I'm going to give you guys from the perspective of a solo player what you guys should be doing to climb. Now it's going to go by 3 rules. We're going to do a pre-check, during the game, post-check, okay? So the pre-check is what you should be doing before you even think about going into rank. During is just when you're in a rank match, and post is what you can do to improve afterwards. Now, let's break down real quick because we have to do with how rank works. So rank is demolition, as you know. It's usually you get 24 points. I believe once you get to the higher ranks, it goes down to like 23, 22, and you can lose between 6 to 8 LP. So let's just put it like this. For every win you get, it takes 4 losses to reset that LP. Now, that might sound like it's an easy climb, but as a solo player, no, no, not at all. Look, I'll put it like this. I just started playing solo queue rank again. Like, I literally went up to like bronze 2, and I just stopped. I'm like, this is gonna be stupid. I'm going against teams all the time. I started going back, maybe a couple days ago. Right now I'm at gold 10. So these strategies that help. Let me get to the point because I know I'm dragging on this part a little bit. But let's get to the point. So pre-check. There's 3 things you need to do before you go into rank. And I'm going to do it as though you're a new character or you're only at level 30. Now, the first and foremost thing, I would not jump into rank at level 30. Now, I know that sounds so contradicting to this list. I know a lot of y'all gonna dislike what I'm about to say, but hear me out. At level 30, you still don't know anything about the game at all. At all. You get to level 30 in a day if you know what you're doing. You can literally get to level 30 in a day if you know what you're doing. But you don't know who you want to play. You don't know how your roles work, especially a free-to-play player. You don't know how some of the roles work. By the time you hit level 30, you should be able to buy at least 1 rogue. You don't know what maps are, how maps work at that time. I recommend, this is a recommendation, that you guys wait till at least level 40 to 45. That way you at least know 2 or 3 maps, you know a couple roles, you kind of know what roles you want to play, and it'll be a smoother transition into the rank play. Second, know your champion pool. Do not go into rank playing brand new characters. I know I did it yesterday, but don't be me. I know how to play Chalk. I just don't have any, I don't have any time on him, but I know what Chalk does. I understand Chalk, and I know how to use him to the best of his abilities. I have natural skill, so it is what it is. But I will usually go into rank with at least 4 roles that I know. Now, thanks to the free-to-play players, you get about 4, 5, 6 of them. So you can learn at least 4 of them, plus whichever one you want to unlock. Quick recommendation of rogues that I would choose. I say I would go Dallas, Ronin. If you can unlock Scorch, and Saint. That should give you a sense of intel, support, and two duelists. You don't really need to know a Breacher because Breacher kind of does the same thing as a duelist in a sense. They just open up the door a little bit more easily. And then snipers, I would avoid unless you are a great shot. And then last but not least, this pertains to everyone, use the shooting range. Even if you don't want to just practice on your shot, practice on your aim, just 5 or 10 minutes of warming up your hands before you go into a match makes a huge difference. Trust me, I went to matches with cold hands and I didn't break 1,000 damage. And I've utilized lately, before I start a match, I go into the shooting range for at least 10 minutes, just work on my shot, work on any mechanics, especially for somebody that plays like Lancer, where she likes to roll a lot to reload. It makes a huge difference That little 10 to 15 minutes makes a huge difference before you jump into a ranked match, before you do anything. So, yeah, those are my pre-list things to do. All right, so let's say you pass level 30. Let's say you level 52 at this point. You've been playing demo, so you got a feel for demo. Let's say you got your 4 characters that you want to play, and you do your little normal shooting warm-ups, however you want to do it. If it's 15 minutes, if you just want to practice on some type of regiment, it's whatever you want to do. How do I go into these games and not impact the game? Well, as a solo queue player, there's 3 things you need to learn, but it all falls under the general umbrella of you need to learn how to read the game as quickly as possible. As a solo player, if you cannot read what is going on throughout the map and look at what information is given to you and properly give it to your team or just take it over yourself, you are not going to win. Now, let's break this down. First and foremost, this is going to be the controversial one, so I want to get this one out the way because I know it's going to be controversial. If your teammate ain't giving good information, mute them. Now, I know what people are about to say. You need communication in this game. If you don't communicate, you can't do this. You can't do that. Stop. There's a thing called communicating through pings. You can communicate through pings. League of Legends been doing it for years. A lot of a lot of closed airways are bad for the game. When your airwaves are going rampant in a 2v1 situation where someone needs to hear footsteps, that is bad communications. So I recommend if you're playing on a team and it's a 3-stack and they ain't talking about nothing, they talking about your name, they talking about how you ain't doing nothing while you might be doing the most for the team, I recommend going into that options, turning off communications and playing through pings. I promise you, I would rather you spam ping something and I at least know the general area of where someone is than for you to be yelling at me and now I can't hear footprints of somebody sneaking up on me. I promise you, I'm the type of person I might snap at you. But speaking of pings, learn to properly utilize your pings. Now, I'm about to tell y'all the secret of the game. This is the biggest secret that I promise you, people don't know how to use this. When you use your D-pad, right? Or whatever, if you use your keyboard, whatever you use your keyboard on, if you press the button down one time, it says go here. If you press it down twice, it says enemy spotted. Those are the only 2 pings you need in this game. I promise you, that's the only 2 pings you need. You don't need no defend here. You don't need no group up. You just need to know move here and enemy spotted. I promise you, properly using pings is just as good as properly communicating with your team, especially as a solo queue player where people do not get on the mic. Proper ping usage, I promise you, if you use them at the right time just to let people know where enemies are, you will probably go up 20% of your games on a win. Now, that doesn't help with your team obviously over pushing and stuff, but just letting people know where they're like, okay, maybe I can make this play. It's better, or maybe I should not go over there because maybe it's 2 or 3 people and we're for sure. I promise you, going through these games, I've seen so many people not use pings in a situation. They should at least be, I died, here go the enemy right here. Like I said in the first point, I would rather you mash ping than to not give any information at all and now I have to guess. I promise you, do that and your games will go up. Now, the third one is it's more something you'll kind of gather over time, and that's just utilizing your enemy's drops. Now, there's 2 main drops, and there's one I like to call a fake drop. Fake drops really only happen on a map like Factory. Anything where it's like a big covering that covers up your drop immediately. So mainly on Factory where you can kind of switch between the 2 and you gotta guess. But you have rush drops and you have late drops. A rush drop is just when a team goes directly to the point. They like all 4 are pushing the point. You see this on Lockdown a lot when they want to push B. When they want to push inside the little facility, they will rush drop. So rush drop is if they go there, you go there. A late drop is when 3 of the enemies drop and 1 stays back to tell everybody else where you're dropping. If you see that, you need to late drop with that person, because you need to let your team know, hey, it's a late drop. They might be switching up. You know what I'm saying? So just utilizing what basically it's all information. Utilize what information is given by your team, giving information by utilizing your pings, muting any unneeded noise, unnecessary noise, and looking at what your enemies give you with the drops. And I promise you, your games will go up in percent-wise at least 10%. Now, post-game stuff. Post-game really only has one thing you can do. You need to look at your stats. You need to look at replays of your game. Now, on PlayStation and Xbox, it's easy because usually it just records itself, especially on PlayStation. But on PC, you might need to download OBS. You know what I'm saying? You need to review what you did wrong in your games. There is no my team through the game when you are a solo player. You don't have a team. You're solo. You know, my teammates didn't do nothing. If you cannot impact your games, if you cannot understand what you did wrong to impact the game better, it is your fault you lost. Period. As a solo player, you need to say this and get this in your mind. This is the one thing as solo players you have to get in your mind. If you lose, it is on you. You don't have a team. You don't have nobody to blame but you. Now, that also goes with if I over push because I'm the best player on my team and I'm trying to make a play. That is on me. There are plenty of times in my videos that I'm not gonna lie to anybody where I over push, and I say it in the video. I fucked up. My video yesterday, yeah, I couldn't have carried my team, but I should have did something better to let my team know, hey, y'all messing up. That is my fault. At the end of the day, I lost the game. I should have did more for my team to open up the doors for the weak links to do better. And that causes for me to go back and watch my replays. Check my positioning. Where was I positioned? How much damage am I putting on the board? Because if I'm not putting up at least 2K damage, I'm doing nothing for the team. And that's how I carry myself to that standard. If I'm not putting up at least 2K on the board, I got carried. If I put up 2K on the board, I did enough. Without 2K, I didn't do anything. I got carried. I have no reason to talk. So those are just little simple things. I know it sounds like a rant. I know I probably could go more into details with some of these things, but I think this is a good thing for people who maybe are afraid to go into solo queue, or yet again, maybe you're new to the game and you're just looking up guys and trying to figure it out because not a lot of people talk about it. You know, I can only tell you from going from bronze to go straight solo, no help, no assist. It's a long road. It sucks. A lot of people that say they do it solo don't. I literally have done everything solo, and I can tell you, it sucks. It's going to take a lot of dedication, but you will improve as a player. You will. You have no choice. I hate to say it, as solo queue, you have no choice but to improve. So just take some of the things that I said, take some of the strategies. If you tune out anything, at least take the go warm up at the shoot range and try to learn how to read the map better as like the 2 keys. Those will be probably my 2 most important. Warm up before you do a game and at least try to learn enemy drops and how they like to drop. And then everything else will come over time. But this has been Nappyhead Millie. Hopefully you like this commentary. Hopefully tomorrow I get that collab with Noodles out. We'll see. Only time will tell. But other than that, love you guys. Let's see if we can get 5 subscribers before the end of the year, and I'm out. Peace.